This podcast is brought to you by Blossoms PPC, your trusted partner for promotional apparel and uniforms. Since 1998, we've been manufacturing high-quality t-shirts, caps, and bags in bulk with competitive pricing and timely delivery. Visit www.blossomspc.com for more details.
Hello guys and welcome back to the Backbenchers podcast. Today we have two very special guests with us, the founders of Dash Square, Mr. Amrut and Mr. Pavan. Welcome to the podcast, sir. Thank you so much for accepting the invite.
Thank you guys. Thanks a lot for having us.
And there are three founders.
Yes.
Pankaj is not here. So
Okay.
it's not two founders, we're three of us.
So I think the first important question that we ask all our guests, were you backbenchers in school and college?
You want to go first?
School front bencher and college I got promoted to backbench.
Okay. So you?
I think I started off in the front bench in school, but I think because of my height, I became a backbencher. And later the backbencher became me.
So which school did you study in, sir?
St. Germain's.
St. Germain's. And you?
Bishop Gardens.
Bishop Cottons. How does it feel coming in a Joseph's podcast?
Oh, but no issues at all. No issues at all. Rahul Dravid is still my favorite cricketer, so it's perfectly fine.
Sir, so did you know back in school or in college that you're going to end up in the furniture space?
We had no clue. At least when we were in school, all of us wanted to do something with sports. At least with me, I always thought I'm going to be a sports person. Never ever thought I'm going to get into any type of business. So coming here and doing a podcast, or even for the matter being in furniture, no clue.
No clue.
I didn't have clue till I actually got in. So.
Okay. So you?
Furniture business, no. Somehow I knew I would do some business, but not. You cannot predict that I was going to do a furniture business. Life just has a plan for you. It just goes on. And I think majority of my friends, they are not doing what they had planned out to do. So it doesn't happen that way.
Okay.
You'll get your road.
So what made you realize that the furniture space is actually a very booming sector and that you should enter it?
For me, it was primarily because of Pawan and Pankaj. I was actually in the computer hardware and software development space. And that was not doing very good after 2000.
Okay.
We were losing a lot of money, and at that point of time, Pawan had just gotten into furniture, and then he was opening a store in Commercial Street. And he said, my office was closed in Lady Curzon Road. He said, why don't you come and help me out in the evenings, just drop in and see how it is. And when I went and spent time with him understanding furniture at that point of time, that was when I realized that this can be a good career option. And we saw Bangalore was really, really growing. You had all the software companies opening, Infosys. All these guys had started off becoming big at that point of time. Everybody had gone for an IPO. They were all doing really good in stock market. More and more people were coming into Bangalore. And I think we entered the space at the right time.
Yes, sir.
I think the business found us. We didn't find the business.
Okay.
So it was just a matter of coincidence that my dad is into garments. We had a shop in Commercial Street by the name Little Shoppy,
Okay.
and he's been running that for he was running that for a long time, and he ended up buying a property outside Commercial Street, and that was almost about 20,000 square feet, and he wanted to start a garment showroom, and we didn't have the money to fill the stocks. And then my younger brother Pankaj was coming into the business, and there was no space, there was no elbow room available for him to be in the same showroom where he was. So dad decided that what do you want to do over there? Pankaj just ventured out, figure out. I think it's how you use the word serendipity, right?
Yes, sir.
Things just fall in place. We met a relative who was in the furniture business, and the guy said that you don't have money to fill your stocks. I'll fill the stocks. What you sell, you pay me. And Pankaj was available to run the place, and that's how he just sent all the goods, and Pankaj started selling it, and that's how we got into the furniture business. I was in Commercial Street selling garments, 200 rupees, 300 rupees, 400 rupees, and Pankaj was selling a sofa at 20,000, 25,000, and then slowly, that started becoming more interesting. So it's more about the business finding us.
To be fair, I haven't thought anything about it actually. I'm just looking out at my options because when I got into the course I was doing, I just had it in my mind, let's do this and life will be sorted out and everything. And as life moved on, you get to know that there's more to things than just doing what you are doing at that point. You need to like look out to your options, like just explore what's there around you.
But you must be having some kind of thought process that I'm going to be a businessman, I'm going to be a scientist, I'm going to be a doctor, something, some direction, right?
Okay. So if at all like it's in those lines, I would probably like want to have a business of myself, because I'm particularly interested in real estate and interior design. So that's something I look on to. But apart from that, like doing the course I did, it just like helped me like realize that there are many options that you can get into and like learn, and actually like when you're like setting foot into it, you're sure about like what you're doing.
So you're in a space where you want to take any direction what comes to you.
Yes, exactly, more or less.
Are you sorted in your mind?
100%.
What do you want?
I was 100%. I've always been fascinated with business. So again, like my family's in the apparel space, but we're into manufacturing promotional apparel. So
Promotional apparel. Okay.
So the t-shirts that a lot
Like this?
the t-shirts you're wearing, all of that. So we do stuff like that, but our primary thing is to supply to a lot of like companies with like a big distribution, like Ultratech, ACC, all of these guys who have like distribution all over India. So they market it through our t-shirts.
Got it.
That's the thing. That's what.
So that's what you want to carry on doing?
Sort of. The thing is, I joined my business. I'm 21 now. I joined it when I was 16. So during COVID time, we started off with masks. We had excess t-shirt fabric lying in the factory, and Dad didn't know what to do with that. So me and two of my other friends were just like, it's India. And back then is when the surgical mask thing started, where we tried out one where like, it's India, no one's gonna wear this. Like 3-ply is too thick. So let's just take like a t-shirt fabric, maybe make like a single ply or a double ply, sell it to consumers, and moreover like go to corporates and say, we had our existing like client base anyways, went to them and said, hey listen, like you can't give out t-shirts right now. You can't give out t-shirts, caps, jerkins. You can give out caps. So just t-shirt fabric you can print. So that's how I started, and pretty much just doing the family business, the podcast, then my friends and I working on something in the real estate space too.
Nice. So it's real estate and garments. And you?
I'm more of a business person as well. So my dad has a chemicals business. He sells methanol in bulk. So I'm going to join that and I'm going to expand that globally and all that.
So both of you all are influenced by parents, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The direction that you all are going to take,
Yes.
there is an influence. What about you? Your influence is also coming from there, real estate and interior?
Slightly. The thing is, my father's an interior designer and like my brother's an architect. And I've always been fascinated about like the real estate industry.
Okay.
And that's something I want to like venture into and explore. There is some sort of pattern, yeah.
The question that I'm going to ask you next now when we start rolling is what is the story of Commercial Street and giving birth to like Bangalore's biggest brands? Because again, Prestige was born from Commercial Street.
Yep. Prestige was there.
So we shot an episode with Rizwan Razak.
I saw that.
in the beginning. So even he mentioned a lot about the
Playing
influence of
Monopoly.
Commercial Street. Exactly.
So, Commercial Street is one of a kind, I think, in the entire country. It's not a street where people have to forcefully pass by like Brigade Road, and it's a destination, and it's had a very organic development. Whatever's been happening there has been very organic. It's not like a planned thing that we are going to make it a footwear store or a street or a kids wear street. It started becoming a destination, and at some point of time, all the celebrities were visiting there for shopping. And once that happens, the traffic on the street increases, and everybody who comes there has a purpose to buy something.
Yes.
Either from one shop or another shop. No, the people didn't come there really to waste time and entertain themselves. Yes, that percentage is always there, but since it was focused and got good traffic, people over there flourished. Now the people who flourished there have been there for decades, so it's not like something just snapped out and happened. It was like a decade worth of innovation or whatever, running their business on that street to make them where they were, and after they reached a certain level, they could go to the next level much more easier. So many people on Commercial Street have had that similar growth.
So coming to your question on why brands have grown out of Commercial Street, like just to think of it, I just feel that Commercial Street makes you stronger.
Okay.
It's not easy to do business on Commercial Street. Number one, we started Looking Good Furniture Store. We had obstacles where we couldn't deliver goods. In the first year, we could not deliver goods because they were not allowing any vehicles.
Okay.
So we had laborers carrying our products out all the way, about 200 meters to the petrol bunk. and then we started innovating with push carts, whatever. I think we've done it all to deliver goods during working hours. It also being high rental, you learn to optimize your profits right from the start. If you're paying high rentals, you need to figure out a way to make profits. So that way, cutting down your other costs. So if you ask me personally, at least from a Dash Square point of view, what Commercial Street has taught us is that you really need to optimize your business for it to work everywhere else. Then it becomes easy other places.
Absolutely.
Because anywhere else you're paying less than half the rent.
100%. So when you started, I mean, when you joined Dash Home, did the three of you ever think that you are going to scale up to this level where I think you have 13 outlets now, right?
We have totally totally including all other brands. We have Looking Good, which is our brand. We have Couch Peridot, which is our brand. We do run Natuzzi Edition stores. We run Scavalloni kitchens. So all our point of sales put together, we have about 22 physical locations and 40 points of sales.
Okay. That's amazing. So the thing is, I think I checked the website. So there it had 13.
That's only Dash Square.
Okay.
So Looking Good also is our brand.
Okay.
Couch Peridot also is our brand.
So how did you start off with Looking Good?
So Looking Good is the story which Pawan spoke to you about.
Yes, sir.
So that was Looking Good, and we were running that organically, in Bangalore, and I think we had a store in Mysore and Chennai at that point of time. Dash Square happened purely by accident. We decided how you guys want to move into real estate space. We said, we are done with furniture. We want to venture into another vertical, which is making commercial buildings and giving it out on rent.
Okay.
So the first two buildings that we did, one was in Dickinson Road, in St. John's Road, next to our current store, off Dickinson Road, that is, next to our current store, and then we had another thing in BTM layout. So both these buildings, when we went looking out for tenants, the only tenants we were getting were furniture tenants. And then Pawan and me, Pankaj, we traveled quite a lot. We saw that the furniture industry was evolving. A customer who'd come and buy probably a sofa set worth 20,000 came to me 5 years later, and he was buying a sofa set for 40,000-50,000 rupees. And then he would come back to me, and then they say, hey, you know what, I need something better, you don't have it. And then we also noticed that especially when it comes to sofa sets, the budget ones were ending at 70,000-80,000 rupees, and the premium ones were starting at 2 or 3 lakhs. So we identified there was a gap in the market of leather sofas between 1 to 2 lakhs. So our initial goal was we had the real estate, we know where the suppliers are. Let's just experiment purely by getting in sofa sets, price between 1 lakh and 2 lakhs, and see how it goes. And the kind of response we got at that point of time, there's no turning back.
So can you explain, can you give us a rough timeline of the entire journey from Looking Good till present day? Because I feel that'll give a lot of context.
So Looking Good
got a little scrambled, right?
Yes, Looking Good started 2001. And we were scaling probably at a store a year. 2001, 2002, second store in Commercial. First store, Dickinson Road, second store, Commercial Street.
Was this expansion bootstrapped or?
Everything is bootstrapped.
Okay.
We are 100% bootstrapped.
Wow.
So there's no funding. The store number 3, Koromangala, 2003. Then store 4 in Banaswari, 2004. Then 2005, so on for the Looking Good.
That's Looking Good.
Looking Good. And then in between that, we also had Couch Peridot, which came in 2009. 2010 was when we started thinking about getting into getting in better furniture and stuff like that. So we had the concept in mind. I think by 11 to the end of 2011 we had the concept in mind, and by 12-13 we launched Dash Square. 2013 to be exact is when we launched Dash Square.
And talking about building such big brands, how do you make it all come together? Considering all the constraints that are present, how do you make it all come together?
Building brands, I think ever since we have started Looking Good, for us the primary focus only been customer. We always look at the customer and work backwards. Even though Looking Good was a budget brand, we were one of the, I think, organized players way back then. Even now the furniture sector is not very organized.
Yeah, that's all.
So ours is 100% billing. We have our we have our ERPs, billing systems all in place. We never charge customers extra for taking credit cards. Okay, I'm giving you a simple example. So from our point of view, we realize that you need to get organized at a very, very early stage, and that I think is extremely important in building a brand. You want to add anything to the point?
No, I think
So, what do you think makes like great furniture? Is it like quality, trend, or like design? What's
What
your
makes-
secret?
See, one thing we've been very particular about is the quality. Okay, quality, we don't want to sell junk. We want to sell good quality stuff that lasts. That has been a fundamental thought process since
That's the
2001.
priority.
Yeah, that the quality needs to be up there.
Okay.
If it looks fabulous, but it's going to last only 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, we don't want it. So we don't take these shortcuts. We want to give quality furniture, and obviously now that you've decided that quality is highest priority, then you have to see which designs fits into this scheme of things and choose the best designs. Market is evolving. See, the other advantage was that world trends were taking a long time to reach India, and we used to travel a lot, so we already knew what's going to happen. As you travel to all the furniture fairs in the world, you know the trends that are going to come to India. Now India is catching up very, very fast in terms of trends, but in the last 20 years it has taken time. It takes 1 year, 2 years, 5 years to reach India. So that advantage we had.
So, how did you know that the Indian market was going to adapt to the global this one? Because like it's usually very different.
We didn't know, but comfort is the same here and anywhere else in the world. When you sit down, the way you want to feel comfortable is same anywhere in the world. What is a sofa? It's a stitch here and there, it's a seat, it's a quality of fabric or leather that you put, but fundamentally you need to feel good when you sit down. Now everybody in the world, every part of the world wants to feel good while sitting down. So it's all about the design. Maybe fabrics are in trend, maybe leathers are in trend, but at the end of it, the other thing is that people from Bangalore used to travel a lot with the IT sector and all that. So the exposure to international designs comes from them. Like, they travel abroad, they see international furniture. When they come back, they want something like that. So we were there to give it to them.
So can you elaborate a bit? So you mentioned you started off with Looking Good, you had Couch Potato, and then after that you got into partnerships with foreign brands like Ashley. Can you explain your strategy to segment the market? Because you mentioned that again there were sofas for maybe like up to 1 lakh, and then the premium ones started from like 2.5 lakh and above. So you hit that price point of 1 lakh to maybe 2 lakh. And after that, you've again launched a lot of brands. So how do you go about like segmenting the market?
So we look at it, there are two ways you can segment a market. Obviously, one is in terms of price, the other is in terms of design.
Okay.
To start off with, Looking Good is our entry level. Okay, Looking Good and Couch Potato both fall in similar brackets in terms of pricing.
At what price is that, sir?
I think you'd probably get a sofa set at starting at about 35,000-40,000 rupees, like a good sofa. And the upper end, again, even Looking Good maybe go up to 1 lakh, lakh and a half. That would be where Looking Good is. Then you have Ashley, which starts off at a sofa set, maybe a 3 and 2, a 5-seater sofa set at about 70,000, right? That's our entry level, like 80,000 to be fair.
You're right.
And then it goes up to 2 lakhs, 2.5 lakhs, maybe a leather up to 3 lakhs. Then we have Dash, where we start off at about you can say 1.5 lakh for a fabric sofa, and then there's no upper limit. To be honest with you, there's no upper limit, because like today's customers, if you want something really, really high end, we can get that for you, and that's why we launched Dash Bespoke.
Okay.
Like the section we are sitting in is Bespoke, where we get custom products not only from our own staple but also from international staples for you, and for that there's really no ceiling. I cannot put a price on that, because it's like, if somebody is buying, let's say, a Jacob & Co watch or a Patek Philippe watch, I mean,
There is no limit.
there's no limit. Here also, if you're buying something really, really premium, one of the top Italian sofas, and that's not it's a big exception, but for those customers there's no limit.
Absolutely. So what, again, you have just sort of repeating her question, what is the difference between a sofa that costs maybe 50,000 or 75,000 and a sofa that costs 5 lakh?
Many differences, obviously. First, we'll look at something which is 50,000 rupees, which is sold in terms of the material. Even in Looking Good, we don't compromise on material. The material is basic, the fabric that you're using is really basic, the foams you're using is basic. Also, as you grow up, there are two things that happen. One is the type of material that you use. There's no limit to you can really use high-end fabrics, designer fabrics. You can use like high-end leather, but you also end up paying more for the functionality a sofa gives. For examples, you have recliner options, then you have motorized recliners, then you have battery recliners which don't need any wiring, which has a battery built in. Then you have recliners which go into 0G position. I'm just giving you only example of sofas. Then you have recliners that take you to super 0G. Then you have sofa set which has massage built into it. You have sofa set that has heat built into it. You have sofa set maybe that has cooling built into it. You have sofa set which has built-in cup holder. And right now the new thing which we'll soon launch are what we call as a sofa set which has audio built into it. And it's basically it's custom audio for every seat. So you have speakers that is right here. So if you're watching a movie, this has recline, it has massage, it has audio, it has whole lot of other other functionality. The second aspect is the design point of view. Now, like let's say, why would you pay extra for a designer shirt?
Yeah.
Right. So even when it comes to sofa, like let's say for example the diesel kitchen, like the kitchens that are there are some kitchens which are designed by maybe the designer of Ferrari. Like in Scavalloni has a kitchen by the designer of Ferrari. It has a uniqueness to it, and those kitchens are high because you have the design factor for it. You have the Ferrari tag with it. You have the diesel kitchens which we sell, which have the diesel tag to it, which have the design factor, which obviously there's something unique in it. So these are the two things that are the big differentiator when it comes to what's something which is very expensive and also what's something which is very cheap. When it comes to like dining table, it can be the cost of marble.
Yes.
Like the table that we are sitting in, like the same table can be half the price or 4 times the price based on the marble top that we're using.
Yes, sir.
So that's the big differentiator.
Got it. And when you when you started off with sofas first, correct?
Yeah, it was all furniture.
Okay.
Home furniture.
Home furniture. Okay, so no, I thought you started off with sofas initially and then you branched out into other...
For Dash Square.
Okay.
It's always been a package. You have sofas, you have dinings, you have beds. Like these are 3 major categories.
Yeah.
And sofa is everyone's favorite category because it contributes to more than half.
So is that the best selling?
Yeah.
And where is all of this manufactured? Is Indian manufacturing reaching a point where I'm sure most of it is imported again, but do you see Indian manufacturing reaching a point where we can have international quality being made in our country?
Yeah, it's walking towards that direction. Ideally, I would like to run towards that direction. COVID did give that a catalyst. We do not have the kind of big scale that many international factories have. So that is preventing us from giving the same finish, same end product. So Looking Good Furniture focuses 90% on domestic production and 10% on imported. Dash Square is about 80% imported and 20% domestic. So we have both. We're doing both of it. We're doing the imports, we're doing Indian, and we're making the best of everything. So the idea is when a guest comes to your place, he needs to get the best of everything. What's best in India, what's best abroad, everything needs to be there with him.
See, we've seen when it comes to manufacturing, there is there has been a slow but steady transition of furniture manufacturing that's happening in India. When it comes to really good furniture, India is really good. Like everything that you see on this floor is all manufactured in India.
Wow.
That everything, Dash Bespoke, everything is from India because this is customized. Bespoke is really tailor-made, and for that you have really good. I won't say even carpenters or anything. You have artists who make these products. In that sector, India is really good. Where India, I feel, has a problem is when it comes to scale manufacturing.
Got it.
Like a company like Ashley ships out probably 5,000 containers out of Vietnam every month. Okay, that in India, I think maybe it's a challenge now. Hopefully in the future it may not be.
So speaking of Ashley, how did the partnership with Ashley go about? How did you bring that to the Indian market?
I mean, we told them, guys, we have 1.4 billion people here. It's as simple as that. But on a serious note, with Ashley, it's very simple that we really like the products. The first time we went and saw them and Dash started, we thought that there is a gap in the market. You had Looking Good, you had Dash, and there was a gap between that which Ashley could slot. Second thing was the products of Ashley were not in any way clashing with the products of Dash. So we realized that we could basically cater to a totally different clientele.
So this is the 1 to 2 lakh, right?
In the 1 to 2 lakh, maybe 80,000 to a lakh and a half,
Yeah.
in that range. But Ashley is American classical furniture, and nobody does that in India. At least now you have a lot of brands which says American, they have that word American on their websites. Many of the designs are inspired from from Ashley. Like if you take any of our Ashley sofas and do an image search, you'll find a lot of competitive brands making those same designs. So that we think they say imitation is the best form of flattery. For us, we are very happy that a lot of people are actually imitating these products, which means that the decision that we took going with Ashley was right. With Ashley, I think they were looking at somebody who was organized in the sector. We were young, we were 10 years younger when we signed up with these guys, and from them and us, it's a slow partnership, but it's a growing partnership.
How many stores did you have back then? In 20, I think 20.
We had 2 stores when we signed up with Ashley.
Okay, wow. And what do you think? I think I remember seeing a YouTube video of Pawan sir speaking, and I think it was the one where you guys had just signed Ashley. I think it's there on YouTube, and he was talking about how Ashley is one of the biggest American furniture manufacturers. What do you think? What do you think they saw in you that that they had faith that these guys have just started 10 years back? They have 2 stores, but let's go ahead with that.
I can maybe organize a podcast with them, and you can ask them this question. But I think when you're looking at any international company, whether it's Ashley or any of the other brands, they look at they always want to, they don't want to take giant leaps. They want to try out one store, see the successes of that, and then move from the second one. We didn't open stores for Ashley. We started just buying containers, and we also had to test the market. It was only in 2016 that we opened the first Ashley home store. And this was after a visit which Pawan and me took to the US, and Pankaj and me followed up with a visit to do a PNR meeting there to understand how the US stores run. The good thing about any American brand, especially Ashley, is they are all SOP driven. Everything is on paper on what a person is supposed to do right from the time you open the store. Maybe how you open the store, how do you have the team meeting, how are the furniture placed, how do you pair products. Everything is SOP driven, everything is on paper. They don't want to leave anything for the manager's imagination or anything else. That everything is set. So that's something that we realized that we needed to do, because we were not as organized as they were. And then after each successes, we started opening the next store. So you open one and you say, hey, you know what, I want to open the second one, I want to open the third one. So that's how it's grown. It's been a very, very organic journey with them.
But also coming back, earlier Amruth mentioned that the furniture industry was really, really disorganized. When you say disorganized, it means that nobody keeps accounts in this industry. A lot of people do business on cash and things like that, and we were not in that thing. 95% of the people were taking cash. There were only 5% people who were doing proper, legal, 100% organized business. So for a good brand, they have to choose somebody who's organized. It's difficult for them to work with somebody from the disorganized sector. So that's also one of the things that worked in our favor.
So you mentioned again the importance of again being frugal to some sense, where you're managing your money wisely, and again you have proper standard, you have proper SOPs with Dash and all of that. What do you think is something that the furniture market, the furniture sector in general, should start following? A lot of the other smaller players should start following, such that they could again see some kind of better success.
If you ask me, the simple advice I would give others is get official. I think that's the easiest thing to do. Without all our records are open. We have access to data, right? We know exactly how many sofas we sold the last month, how many leather sofas, what it is. We know what our stocks are. We have every information that comes to us, and with that information, you can really, really organize yourself better. You can plan better. We have velocity for our products. Pawan manages it. Maybe you can talk about how you do your velocities.
Those are all SOPs, no?
Yeah, SOPs. I'm just saying that, and he cannot do that if you're not organized. If you're giving invoices on hand and stuff like that, you cannot do it, right? You don't have the data. You don't want to keep the data.
Do you? I mean, again, this is just a question that
Yeah.
popped in my head, because if the sector per se was very disorganized, and when you entered the market, working with suppliers and working with a lot of other people, they must have found it like a bit different. Saying, like, was that the case where they said that this is not how the sector is?
Yep. There were a lot of people who found it difficult, but sometimes you need to be focused. If you make a decision and you are passionate about that decision, that this is the way it is, stick to that. Stick to that and make them change. No, you don't change. There's certain aspects in your thought process, like how they say a value system. No, there's a pyramid.
Yes.
This doesn't change. We are not going to change this aspect, come what may, and that's what we did. And it really contributed to a lot to our growth. So that was not negotiable. If somebody could not supply to us with a bill, we will not buy from them. As simple as that. So we would not sell to a customer without a bill. That was fundamental. Now that is about the legality of the business. But other than that, like earlier you asked a question about what should somebody do when they think. Before I sold the first piece of furniture, I actually spoke to somebody who was 20 years into the trade, and he's in Pune, and he said if you're entering the furniture business, the advice he gave me still rings in my mind, is that you need to eat furniture, drink furniture, sleep furniture, dream furniture. Literally don't eat the furniture, but
Obsession.
You need to be obsessed with the business. With the business. Maybe not with the product, but with the overall running of the business. Give the best product, best service, run the best company. You need to be obsessed with it. So it needs to come to you in your dreams in the night. And if that happens, chances of success are way higher. But if you think that, okay, from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. is what I'm going to think about my business, and I'm not going to answer any calls after that, and it's a switch on, switch off button, chances of success may be slightly lower. It depends on where you are. If you're the driving force, or you just appointed somebody to be the driving force. In our case, we were the driving force, so we
still are.
Yeah, we still are. So we don't see the watch, we don't see the clock. Whatever time it is work.
And talking about the different customer preferences that people have, what are like some of the trends that are seen in the furniture market per se? Like, is there anything specific, like for example?
See, there are two ways to look at it. One is the trends that you want to influence. The second thing is the trends which customers gets influenced by and they come in. So the trends keep changing, right? Trends are typically in terms of color. Like now, during a last visit to Italy, we realized that pastels are coming back. I'm just giving you an example of a trend that is there. Normally, you would not want to keep pastel colors in your store, but they are in. So pastel pinks, blues, all these colors, lavenders, all these have made a comeback. Like just as an example, trends are also based on the brands that they see abroad. A good example would be when we opened our Hyderabad Ashley store. We realized that in Hyderabad we didn't need to spend any money on marketing our stores, because in Hyderabad the people are so obsessed with the US, okay, that Ashley, Ashley, they would come in. Some people didn't realize it was the same Ashley, but the minute they came in, and the guys who had spent 5-6 years, or like the son is abroad and he comes back, and then he realizes there's an Ashley store here. The business becomes very, very easy. So that way, you see Ashley in the US, you're from the US, you'd want to come and buy Ashley here. Somebody goes to Italy, they see Natuzzi editions or Scavoloni. If you go to Milan airport, you have Scavoloni plastered everywhere. So that rings a bell for them, and that for them becomes easy for them to come over here and buy the kitchens from us.
So adding to his question, how do you manage? How do you blend the aesthetics with the functionality and keep it at a standard comfort level of what your priority is, plus with the changing trends and aesthetics that people are looking for?
You have to be extremely agile, right? What COVID taught us was that you need to be like a cat. You just need to know when to change directions. Sometimes, even when it comes to price point of products, right? We are at times conservative. But a lot of our times, based on the feedback that we get from customers, we've realized that we need to look at the trend and make those changes on our own. If you're not going to be agile, if you have really fixated values that this is what I'm going to be, it's very tough to do business. Okay, you need to have that little bit agility to look at what way is what's your primary business? You're in business to sell furniture, correct? You have some basic principle. You want to sell furniture which is like, which number one, where the quality is good, there's no compromise, people don't talk bad about it. We also focus a lot in terms of comfort. Now, as long as the quality and comfort are good, the other aspects are dependent on the market.
So do you think that's what sets you apart from your competitors, like your focus on comfort and quality, and like the 80% imports and 20%?
I think that is what I won't say sets us apart from our competitor. Like, a lot of other competitors also, with due respects to them, follow that. But for us, that's the primary focus. Like, quality and comfort. Like, price. Like, we always try and get the best deal. Like, we are good negotiators with price when it comes to our suppliers. Like, Pawan probably is the hardest negotiator you can come across. Like, so but like, sometimes, like, when we go for a meeting, and this I'm saying it very candidly, like, I'm like, what is Pawan doing? Like, he's negotiating the last dollar, but finally every last dollar that we save there, we pass it on to our customers, because our margins don't change, right? Our margin, it goes on. So many a times, like, like when we started off business with Ashley, our pricing was twice as what the US was selling it at, because we were buying it from China, we were paying custom duty, and we were not getting any benefits. But when they moved to Vietnam, we were really able to optimize our costs and purchase and all. Now we are cheaper than the US.
Wow.
So same with the other brands.
Cheaper by quite a big gap now.
Quite a gap, yeah. So if you compare the India pricing and the US pricing, earlier people would show us the US websites.
To match the price.
Match the price. It's $1,000 there. You guys are charging $120,000 here. Why are you charging me more? That was our cost, like, But we can still sell it at that price. But we have a like, very, very clean thing, that our first responsibility is to our customers, because at the end of the day, that's where we get the business from. You keep that as focus, you can't go wrong.
That's like the Rockefeller method. So again, like, I just have one question. So it's three of you who run Dash Square. How did you, like, what is the response? I mean, the division of the responsibility, like who's handling, like you mentioned Sir's a great negotiator, so I'm assuming Sir's in charge of purchase.
Yes.
Okay, and so then what is the division of responsibility amongst the three of you?
So there's one big division. Even though we all of us do everything, but there's a kind of a 80-20 rule.
Yeah.
Like, if Amruth's looking at marketing, he'll look at it 80%, I'll look at it 20%. So that's how we break it up. But one very important thing is, between Looking Good and Dash Square, we have kind of built a wall. Pankaj is spending maximum of his time in Looking Good Furniture, and we are spending maximum of our time in Dash Square. The reason for that is the mindset of Looking Good Furniture and Dash Square is very, very different. Is very now Looking Good Furniture is price sensitive.
Yes.
Like, people want to get them a sofa at 30, 35, 40, 50,000, in that bracket. So what you can deliver with the most limited margins, maximizing the value given to the customer, is a different game. Here in Dash Square, there's a little bit more about design aesthetics, using the next, like, for example, leather comes from 100 rupees a square foot up to maybe even 2,000 rupees a square foot. Now, we should not feel shy to use something at 2,000 rupees a square foot, even though it's going to push the product up, the price of the product up, because in Dash Square, it's not only, the focus is not to sell anything at 30,000-40,000. We have the window open up to 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs, 5 lakhs, and we need to deliver more value over here. So the thought process is different.
That's true. So I have one very important question. What is your COVID story like? Because you mentioned during COVID time you had to be as agile
So
as you can.
I'll probably backtrack that. Like, when we're looking at growth in Dash Square, we've had three key moments. Like, three, I would say, key. So the first one was demonetization. Okay. Demonetization, I think, probably from our point of view, was the best jump we had in business. Why? Because a lot of business at that point of time were cash driven. Okay, and we were probably one of the few, I won't say only, but one of the few businesses that was fully official. So for us, demonetization really, really helped, because customers could come and pay, and we could give them invoices which other people couldn't, because they didn't have purchase. They had a whole lot of other stuff. So we had like a 20-30% growth during demonetization time, and then we in fact even added more stores at that point of time. That was the first, you can say, key moment. Second key moment would be GST. When GST came in, same reason. Like when GST came in, it became expensive for some businesses because compliance became a lot more. We were already compliant, so for us it was not much, but we started getting the benefits of getting inputs on services, which we were not getting earlier. So technically for us, our rent became cheaper across the board. Rent, a lot of other things like my lawyer's fees, the marketing agency that I work with, all the GSTs I could claim and put because it's a legitimate input benefit. So that became cheaper. That was the second one, and there also we had a big jump when GST came. The third big mover was when COVID happened. Pawan and me stay in the same apartment. Pawan had gone for a holiday to, I think, Bandipur or someplace he had gone for just before the lockdown happened, maybe 3 or 4 days before that. And every day things were rapidly changing. We have a very, very clear-cut system in our company that, we want to be fair to our customers. So we have a price that we sell and we don't sell below that. And we said this is our best price and we want to give it to our customers. So there's no question of bargaining at all. So when he was there, I could not even reach him. And everybody is saying there's going to be a lockdown, and I'm looking at the cash flow and all those things. I need to build those reserves. So I took a call saying, you know what? I told my guys, all the managers, called them. I said, for this 4-5 days, I don't know what's going to happen. Sell it at additional 5-10% discount. You sell it. We don't mind taking that loss, but we want to get in cash flow to manage COVID. So when Pawan got back, he was very upset. He says, "How did you reduce the price? We have brought down the benchmarks, and the staff are going to get used to new discount." I said, "No, Pawan, this is temporary," and he had no clue because he was cut away. He had no access to internet, nothing like that. And then the lockdowns happened. One thing which we had done was we somehow preempted the lockdowns because we were in touch with people in other countries. Like in China, we were in touch with what was happening there. And we realized long back that we need to somehow get our entire team used to online meetings. So we got Zoom. Zoom had come out just then. So we got everybody used to Zoom. Every staff of ours knew how to get onto Zoom for these meetings, and we did drills even before the lockdown. Okay. So when when the lockdown happened, when COVID happened, my guys were all idle. So we had a chat and we said, Pawan, how long do you think we can last? We knew we had reserves for probably 2 months.
No, it was less. It was 30-day reserves.
The 30-day reserves to run the business. So we said first thing is we're not going to deny anybody's salaries, and salaries were due. We said we're going to pay the salaries. The other thing we discussed among ourselves was, we're going to make this the most busiest time for our employees. So every day morning we would tell our guys, log on. I know you guys are all at home. 9 o'clock in the morning, you're getting on the calls, and we'll just do training sessions for y'all. So Pawan would do some training, I would do some training. We would organize some training from our partners abroad. So we kept them busy for the first month or so, where we could not even step out of our places. Probably morning to evening, what I would say
9 to 6.
9 to 6, 9 to 6 non-stop on Zoom. Different meetings, having co-groups, 8 steps of selling. I still remember the different things that we were doing, product selling. We were practicing how do we do video selling. So we do role plays. Okay. So I would do role play from my house, Pawan would do role play from his house. Okay guys, if you have to show a product to a customer, hey guys, this is the sofa set, this is the fabric and all those things. So we would made each and every staff of ours do the role plays. It was when you look at it now, for us probably it was one of the best time. Because it gave us a time to just sit back, relook at every small aspect of our business. And then the most surprising thing that happened was just as the lockdown got over, my guys had so much energy in them that we saw that big boom. I think
the other thing in lockdown, usually when we talk to our team, what we talk where were you, what did you achieve, how much sales happened, what are the products that have moved out. So during COVID time, there was no targets or goals or sales goals or anything. So we started making health goals for everyone. Yeah. Each and everyone had a health goal. Yeah. So we took everybody, of course, had different goals. Weight loss was somebody's goal. We took somebody's 90 kilos, he wants to get to 80 kilos. And that's what we were tracking a lot. Yeah. We had to kill 10 hours, 8 hours a day. And we can train so much, but we need to talk something, and we need to have set some goals and keep everyone active. So we made sure the entire team is active, they're eating right, they're doing the right amount of exercise. And that was what we discussed for at least 1.5 2 hours a day with everyone. So we started learning more about health aspects. In order to teach someone, you have to learn also, right?
Absolutely.
So we were learning, and next day what we were learning, we were teaching.
Is that when the two of you got into fitness, or?
We've always been into fitness. Maybe at that point of time we spend a lot more time. But I'm just saying.
For me, yes,
Yeah.
that period was for me. Fitness was not at all important. COVID time, it started becoming important, because once you study it a lot, then you realize the importance, and then you want to carry it on.
I mean, you have time. You're looking at, hey, let me do Mind Valley. I did Wild Fit. He did what you did, Robin Sharma.
Yeah.
Robin Sharma. He did some program of Robin
Jim
Sharma.
Quick.
So a whole lot of those other things, but we would also make it interesting for guys. It was just not about training. We'd say, you know what, let's have a meeting and let's just have a party. So we'd all dress up crazily on caps. So we would give awards for who dressed the crazy stuff. Then we would Swiggy stuff, or Zomato, send those things. Okay, somebody came out crazily dressed. Then we would have, we had I think if I have to share photographs, we had some crazy beard photographs. All of us had beards.
Yeah.
So who had the most fancy beard? So we call it the Dash Square Mafia, all of us with beards, and we would do some really, really crazy stuff.
One thing we were very particular about is, once you come for the meeting, you're dressed to office. No wearing your
Night clothes, yeah.
night clothes. So everybody had to wake up. You wake up. You have to wake up by 7:38. Get ready. Take a shower. Be in your work clothes for the meeting.
Yeah.
So that's about just setting the tone for everyone's day. Otherwise, everyone was going mad. Everyone was going mad during COVID.
I think it kept us sane. It also kept our team members sane. I think they really had a good time. It's a wrong thing to talk now that we had a good time in COVID, but that 2 years, the two lockdowns that happened probably shaped us in lot of manners. A lot of the team guys, otherwise they would have probably sat at home and they would be drinking the whole day. Many of them, who had access to it, they would be drinking the whole day. But here they were doing a whole lot of other stuff. We would play games. We would have quiz contests.
The other thing Pankaj did was that, he made it a team target on, once there was a soft relaxation for a few hours, there was a period of time where people didn't have food needed to be delivered. So Pankaj took half the team and he went on food delivery to various places. He was finding out where food is needed, where do you get the food, where do you get the vegetables, and deliver to everyone, medicine delivery and things like that. He spent more time on that.
So do you, I remember reading this thing where, I think it was Peter Thiel who said it, the biggest startups are just like cults, if you look at them. So do you think you've built the Dash Home cult? The Dash Square cult, sorry.
We always, even when you look at it, the current scenario is, with all the things that are happening around the world, is is different. So from our point of view, we want to call ourselves a cult. Some of the team members that we have been there from day one with us. So we're blessed with really, really good team members.
So how have you gone about building a great team? If you could give us maybe 3 principles that you follow, you follow to build a fantastic team in this business, what would they be?
I think for me the first is trust. You need to, if you ask, in terms of the people around me, I really need to trust them. The guys that we have around, if it's 3 a.m. and I have to call them and say, hey, I have this thing, can you come with me? No questions asked. A lot of times they do it on their own. Okay. So that's what we look at. Trust, value, what else?
So I think what you're asking, how did we build a team? There was no plan as such. It just happened. You employ the right people. You spend your mind and energy into the people that you have the instinct that is going to last with you for long. You can make out if somebody joined you just for a short time, and you can make out that somebody really wants to be a part of your journey and make it their journey. Those are ways you just read people, invest more into those people, and your team is sorted.
So what are some principles that you follow to develop that team? Again, like Sir mentioned, maybe trust is something that you look at, that you look in team members. But again, if you this is just what I think, if you have a great team, maybe a competitor, anybody would love to poach them, right? Is there a reason that you mentioned that you had these people from the beginning? What have you done at Dash Square that has enabled these people to be there from the beginning?
We don't treat them like employees, number one, right? I mean, at the end of the day, like the people that are there in Dash Square as well as in Looking Good, some of them have been like, some of our office staff have actually worked with Pawan's dad, and then they have come. So we have I think maybe even right now about 4 or 5 members in our team who are more than 40 years who've been working. They've been transitioned from Pawan's dad's business to our business. And in Looking Good and in Dash Square, we've had people who've been with us right from the first day of Looking Good and the first day of Dash. I feel it just happens.
There's a track record that people see, right? Like how many years these guys have been in business, and how many are they paying their salaries on time? Are people in the team happy, relatively happy? So, the thing is about it's not about keeping them happy by giving them less work. We push them really hard. And after a year, a person has mentally grown so much with every passing year in terms of knowledge, in terms of being stronger, smarter, and when you grow mentally, that's priceless. People are willing to work for free if they can grow mentally in a certain amount of time. If you can gain a lot of exposures, all these international brands is exposure to us, exposure to our team. We learn so much from them, and when you're learning, you want to be in a place where you don't stagnate. You're growing and learning at the same time. So I think that's it. It's not like a plan that we set out. This is what we're going to do to build a team or something.
It happened along the way.
Yeah, it just happened along the way. We were blessed to have good partners to do business with. Those partners grew us. We grew our team, and everyone's happy.
See, they say if you look at Atomic Habits, they say you don't rise to the level of your plans, you fall to the level of your systems. Okay, so for us, I think what's made a lot of the people stay back with us is the systems that we have in place, and this has been there right from day one. Even when we were a one store, there were some basic systems, right, in terms of how we would do our accounts, what we would do, how we would conduct. There are a whole lot of things. And now most of the people are more like family now. At the end of the day, it's a wrong thing to say. And I mean, now many times when you're looking at a corporate world, they say, hey, don't use the word family. But in the long run, I've seen that especially with Ashley, which is like a privately held company. They do business over $5 billion. That's how big. World's biggest furniture manufacturer, biggest furniture retailer in entire United States. And I've seen the core team is all like family. So it does work. It's unlike what people say.
So what is your opinion on work-life balance?
I think here we both have different opinions.
Okay.
No, I think it's overrated. Okay, overrated as in personally, you ask me, I think it's overrated. It's not only overrated, it's also the word is misused based on people's this thing. I feel as long as you're enjoying your work, there's nothing like work-life balance. Like when we come to work, or when any of our team members come to work, we don't make it feel like work, right? In that case, you don't really need to focus too much in terms of work-life balance. Working, we do not want any employees who count hours. To give you an example, like one of our managers calls me at 1 a.m. or in the night, says, sir, there's a customer who wants to visit the store now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, 1 a.m. He's saying, no, tomorrow morning is his housewarming ceremony. He wants products in the morning. I said, how are you going to go?
Yeah.
He says, no, I've told my brother and I've already told another friend they will come. I said, okay, you keep me updated. So I'm with a call with him. He goes to the store, I think by 1:30, customer comes at 2 a.m. in the morning. Okay, and this is out of their own will. It's not like me telling him, hey, there's a customer, go. And the customer, I think, selects products at 3 a.m. He calls the tempo guy at 4 a.m. At 5:30, 6 o'clock, the product is delivered. So now, is that work-life balance?
It's fun.
I mean, the guy wants to do it. So we don't stop anybody and tell them, hey, you know what, it's time up, go back home.
Yeah.
Okay, but at the same point of time, we do not want to burden them, to a level of burnout. We don't want any burnouts happening. So we are not for burnout, but primarily I feel that there is that the word is abused a lot nowadays.
I think coming to when Sir mentioned, it's a lot of obsession.
Yeah.
Like when you're obsessed, you don't see it as like work, you just see it as play.
Correct.
And so what is your opinion on this?
See, I've seen that many people think of this differently, but I believe that if you really want to make something big, you need to allocate about 5, 10, 15 years of your life without a balance, without a so-called balance. At the end of it, there is that grind period where you need to make your business or your career the highest the highest priority. I know many people won't like me saying this, but that grind period is going to define your legacy.
Yes, sir.
And that's when we started, we were one showroom with 5 or 6 staff. Today probably there are over 350 families who are able to run their home because of our company. So it's gone beyond our homes, right?
Yes.
Now there are 350 families. Now if I have to only think about my balance, if I disturb my balance and give that little more to the company, 350 families are happier. 350 families are going to benefit. So it's gone beyond only me now, or only him, or only us. I think more than 350, right?
More than that, yeah.
Yeah, so just take 350
close
as
to
a number.
500 actually now.
Yeah.
Wow. So it's like the Star Trek principle: the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
Yeah.
So at the end of it, when we are putting in those extra hours now, 350 people being happy makes us happy. Obviously, my balance today is way better than it was even 5 or 7 years back. I was totally imbalanced. I was a totally imbalanced person. I would go to the office, come home without suddenly see the clock. It will be, oh shit, it's 10 o'clock, and I don't even realize that I need to go home. I've been there. I've done those kind of stupid things, but now it's a little bit more balanced.
Isn't it scary? I mean, having you mentioned that like if I can put in some more work, I can maybe help out 350, 500 families better. Isn't it scary? Does it ever hit you sometimes that 500 families' livelihood depends on COVID. Yeah.
COVID, what he told you,
Yes, sir.
there was a day where all 3 of us sat. We put all our savings on the table in terms of writing it down or what we had, and we said, how long is this going to last? We put a date on that.
Properties, bank balance, stocks,
Yes, everything. Whatever we had, we
rental
said,
payments,
and we said that
loan.
keep paying all your survivals, and this is going to last us X number of days. And what happens after that? So don't know. Leave it to God. Whatever happens, and with everything being depleted every single day, you see your treasure chest, and it's getting over every single day, and it's almost getting over, and there's no sight of the lockdown opening up. That was very, very high stress scenario. Very high stress scenario. But it so happened that before it got over, the lockdown was called off, and we were so fortunate that people sitting at home started seeing corners in their house that were bad, sofas that were bad, and they came running to buy furniture. Because post-COVID, once the lockdown opened, furniture industry was probably one of the most
Sunshine industries,
where people came rushing to the store, and all our stocks were depleted.
We recovered the loss. The lockdown started, I think, in March, right? March, April,
Yeah.
May. I think May 6th or 7th, it ended. So June, July, the month of June, July, and August, we were able to cover up all the losses of COVID. 3 months, I think we had like a exponential
But that's something I personally couldn't even forecast, because the mindset while sitting during COVID is there a tomorrow? This was the thoughts that were going on into your mind were end of world scenario.
How did you handle that stress?
Oh, we kept ourselves
busy,
sane.
kept busy.
Just kept busy.
You ask me personally, the only time where I didn't have a work-life balance was during COVID. Because it was morning 9 o'clock. Like my wife is like, Pooja's like, Amrut, regular time you're sitting, coming home for lunch, watching TV in the afternoon, coming back in the evening. Now you have meetings which start at 9 in the morning, and back to back Zoom with different teams all the way till probably 9 in the night sometimes.
Yes, sir.
Because we would have our US team wanting to connect with us. They would say, hey, how do we do deliveries? What are the things? I would have the Ashley meetings. Then you would have meetings with these Italian guys. Whole lot of different people, different time zones. And then we would sign up for some crazy podcast. The podcast would be at 12 o'clock in the night. So I think at that point of time, we had no time, really no time. Even though it was there, busiest in my life I've been is during COVID.
Did you ever have like maybe one moment where it just hit you like, dude, like this might be the end? Like,
Not one, many moments.
COVID. During COVID, there were many days where, why are we doing this? Everything's finished. So, there is that point.
Yeah.
But then you lift yourself up. You are motivating so many other people. So, you lift yourself up.
See, you also have to worry about your family, right? I mean, all of us are married, we have kids and everything else. We wonder what's going to happen next. Like, have you kept enough so that they are comfortable? Like, when you have that uncertainty, like, it's a scary feeling. Like, you want to be in that thing. But also, I think uncertainty makes you work harder.
Absolutely. Like having a gun to your head just will make you run a lot further than just.
Another fortunate thing is that all of us, my parents, Pankaj's family, his family, my family, we stay in the same building.
Okay.
So we created a bubble of our own.
Yeah.
And anytime one family member was down, somebody was there to take care of them. Like there were times where my wife Naina could see that I was breaking. So she has her own unique style of lifting me up. She did what she had to do and lifted me up. But when you're breaking, you can't show your team you're breaking. And then some family members there to rescue you. You live with each other. You know how if somebody's breaking, you can recognize that.